And happy Saturday evening to all you fine folks out there on the World Wide Web. Welcome to Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. Coming to you live tonight, live and in color. Don't forget, if you're watching with us on Facebook tonight, if you would, reach over and hit the like button and hit the share button so that everybody on your page can know that you're watching Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. We are certainly glad that you've chosen to invite us into your homes tonight. And man, it's good to see all of you that are popping up on the screen here that are watching us all over the place tonight. And we're coming to you live tonight from our studios in Enterprise, Georgia, our studios in Thompsontown, Georgia, our studios at 100% Flamingo Boulevard, Georgia, and coming to you from parts of unknown in the great state of Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to you live in all 57 states. We're broadcasting in 5 foreign countries and 4 sunken islands. We are live in Ichihani, Pakistan, Cootermonger, Zimbabwe, and Slap Your Mama, Egypt. We will no longer be broadcasting live in Putin in Your Pants, Russia, or Hung Chow, China, until some things in the world change. We will no longer be broadcasting from those locations. And ladies and gentlemen, if for some chance you'd like to catch a rerun of our show, I don't know why it is, but we will be following this week again, Thursday at 8 o'clock, the Guinness Book of World Records. And this week, last week a man stacked 6 M&Ms for the world record. This week on the Guinness World Records show, an Iraqi man will balance 18 eggs on the back of his hand for the world record, and we will follow that on Thursday evening, ladies and gentlemen. So we invite you to join us.
An Iraqi man.
An Iraqi, Iraqui, not Iraqi, but an Iraqi man.
Iraqi, okay.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, this time for the very first time in history, we are live and in color on the 70-inch screen tonight. We are at Polly's Etiquette Classes, Ballroom Dance Instruction, all-you-can-eat Chitlin Bar, and Smoke Sauce to Go outlet in Preston, Georgia.
I've been there.
We gotta go.
Yeah, they had some TV ads on. They were supporting what's his name? Warnock, Raphael Warnock. They had you remember the TV ads they had on with the said they were talking about where's somebody? They all selling stock. But I remember the TV ads. It was over here in Georgia. Y'all know some of these brilliant people we got over here doing television ads for politicians, for brilliant politicians. But I remember that. I remember that cafe there, especially with the all-you-can-eat chitlin bar deal. Mm-hmm.
I got Warnock a new ad.
What is it?
It's called Run Herschel Run.
Yeah.
Run Herschel Run.
Guys, I hope I didn't discuss that with y'all, but I made an executive decision to pull the plug on Putin in Your Pants, Russia, and Hung Chow, China. We will no longer.
That's fine with me.
No longer recognize them as being valid, invalid.
Nah.
Can you pull the one in Washington, D.C.?
We're close. It needs to.
Yeah, we're close.
That one.
Yeah.
But there ain't nobody there. They're all in Delaware. It ain't like we facing a World War III possibility or we got a disaster. We're gonna go on vacation. We're gonna go to Delaware.
Well, he said he had to go because his daughter-in-law, the one that was married to his son that died, her mama had died. And I'm wondering, after that son died, then Hunter got to running with her. They got all hooked up in there and got all hot and bothered. I wonder if Hunter's going to be at the wedding with his
funeral
widow, which he was running pretty strong with that when all that time he was smoking crack cocaine and getting all that money, from Ukraine, as a matter of fact, and from China, and Lord knows who else. But I just wonder if Hunter's going to be there. I wonder if we need to send condolences up there to anybody.
In the meantime,
they need to send condolences to us. Condolences to.
I've taken this whole thing serious, boys. I got a brand new guard dog over here. This is a ferocious animal, highly trained, because when you go to the store, y'all recognize this thing right here?
Yeah, Quaker
Mhm.
Oats, old fashioned.
I'm sure he won't be on there long because
No,
when I went down the aisle, I had to Pearl Milling Company, their mixture and their syrup. You might ask yourself, who is Pearl Milling Company? That used to be Aunt Jemima, but
that's
now
right.
it's Pearl Milling. Do you know how much this was at the grocery store in Headland, Alabama today? One container of Quaker old-fashioned oats.
I don't know, Charlie, how much?
Let's get three bids on it. I'll go with Marvin first.
$3.75.
What about it, Queasel?
$5.89.
Tell me about it, Floyd.
475.
How much?
475.
Get your guns out. $7.69
Good Lord. They sell that stuff for $1 a
for
box.
oatmeal. I bought it
Hey.
a few weeks ago at $4.99 or $5.99 at the same store, but look what it's gone to.
Well, that's like everything else.
$7. Mm.
All I
Everything
can,
else.
$7.69,
Oh,
$7.69 plus tax. I forgot that you got to pay.
well,
You
that's
got to.
about 89% over there in Dothan, ain't it?
Oh, well, Headland, yeah. Meemaw got to get her cut, you know. And in the
Right.
county,
Dothan.
they're redoing the roads. They got to get their cut. And the city of Headland needs to get a new sewage system because they're building so many folks are exiting Dothan to get out of town and
Filling
get
them
up
up.
to a little,
Right.
yeah, bedroom community. It's
Yep.
just, and in the meantime, look what we're into worldwide.
Yep.
Mm.
well, I wasn't gonna say nothing till later on in the show, but y'all done started this off pretty early,
Well,
hitting it pretty hard. So I'm gonna go ahead and break the news, and this has been earth shattering. You might have done seen it on Fox News and on all the news wires and all that, but effective yesterday at 5 o'clock, Brandon's Bed and Breakfast has banned all Democrats from staying on the premises.
oh my goodness.
No
Ooh.
Democrats allowed at Brandon's Bed and Breakfast.
Not even with
Push
money.
those cards out there. Yeah.
None. Zero.
Mhm.
Well,
So
don't blame you.
I hear you.
we
I hear you. I hear
we
you,
getting
man.
serious.
Yeah. Yep. I hear you talking. Don't blame you.
The board met and it was a unanimous vote.
But you got to draw the line somewhere. You got to
You
draw
got
the
to.
line. Like that old friend of mine told me that about a line. You can't cross the line. You must not cross. You have to draw that line. You cross the line and you own your own then. So
Yep.
I don't blame you. The bed and breakfast. I've changed the name of it too. I changed the name of it from Brandon's. Uh,
Yeah, that's a good
or
idea.
either I call it Let's Go Brandon's.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Well, that's what's on the sign.
Let's
Oh,
go.
And then,
Okay.
and then there's a line marked 200 that said, let's go to Brandon's.
oh boy. That,
Uh,
I want to hear some funny tonight, and I don't know that we don't have a format, but for those of you who don't know or didn't know this particular person, what I consider one of the last living true heroes, patriots, hero, heroes of heroes, we lost in the Wiregrass area in the last couple of days. And it's right over there in southwest Georgia. And we're talking about a legend. Who wants to start it off? Because we could do 3 hours on this guy, but
Yeah.
I mean, we could do 4 hours. In fact, the last contact I had with him was about a year ago or a year and a half ago. My good buddy, the late John Taylor, called me and says, "Do you know how we might could go about inviting Mr. Roger Spooner to come over here and speak to the Kiwanis Club? Is he able to, and would he consider doing it?" I said, "I'll call you right back." I called his son David. I said, "David," he said, "what time is he supposed to be there?" And Mr. Roger Spooner lit up the Dothan Country Club when he came and presented a program to those folks about the Battle of Midway. Age, we're not promised tomorrow, but a man who lives to be, what, 99 years old, and up until 2 weeks ago was driving a Peterbilt truck, who served his country and served his country well, and was a leader in the business community. What can you say? What kind of a blessing is that, to have a life that you can be on this earth spreading goodwill and doing good, making a living for your family? What a legacy that man has left. And with that, who wants to take over? Because I was just honored to get to know him as from afar type deal, and I never heard a bad thing about Mr. Roger Spooner. And what a celebration, life celebration that's going to be tomorrow under that oak tree down there in Seminole County. Floyd, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, 300-year-old oak tree that his great grandparents were, where they homesteaded and where they grew up. And that's where his roots are, right up under that 300-year-old oak tree in Iron City. I came to know Mr. Roger Spooner when we had the tractor cage, when we went to Atlanta, and then from there on, some of them went on to Washington D.C. I didn't make it to Washington. I made it as far as Atlanta and got back home. But I was in a car wreck and in the hospital while they was all going, so I missed out on that. But I did get to go to Atlanta. We went to Atlanta, left Colquitt, Dawsonville, all down here on the great tractor cade that we was going on to. Jimmy Carter was president. First, we went to Plains, Georgia, drove tractors all the way up to Plains. And from Plains, Georgia, we went over to Unadilla and parked our tractors there, drove them. And then from Unadilla, we went on up to right south of what was the name of that little town right south of Atlanta there?
We went to McDonough.
McDonough, that's where it was at. McDonough. And yeah, I mean, thousands of people, thousands of tractors. And we had Miller County farmers, and we had wrote that on our tractors. In Seminole County, we had all identified ourselves as being up there. And we went to the coldest day of my life that I have ever lived in my life. Was that day you was up there, wasn't you, Queasel?
I was there.
Cranking them tractors up there in
That's right.
McDonough to drive, and they was 90% of them tractors was open cab tractors. They very few people had
Ooh.
a cab tractor in 1977. It was free. It was in the teens. We got on them tractors and we drove them in there to Atlanta. Got up there to Atlanta and got up there all around the Capitol with the tractors. And Mr. Roger Spooner's his whole group. He was farming at that time and had semi trucks and trailers. His whole family involved in agriculture. But I had met him the night before or whenever, anyway, during the process of that. But we got up there, got around the Capitol with our tractors and all that. And the mayor of Atlanta, Andrew Young, he came out and spoke to us. And anyway, didn't get very far with that deal. So got time to come home, come back to McDonough. We came on back to drove the tractors back to McDonough. We were escorted, State Patrol escorted us. We were there. Them folks in Atlanta didn't even know we was there. So anyway, we rolled on back in there to McDonough. Well, now the next step is getting that tractor from from McDonough back to Miller County, Seminole County, Georgia. And Mr. Roger and his boys, Lewis and Dorsey, they were old enough then to be involved in it, farming and driving trucks. They had two or three, probably three semis. Probably each one of them had a semi with a flatbed low bore trailer. And Mr. Roger Spooner, if you was from Miller County or you was from Seminole County, you got first shot at getting your tractor hauled back to Colquitt, Georgia, or to Dawsonville, Georgia. He hauled my tractor back, 4320. He hauled it back, dropped it off, a whole trailer, a whole load of them, dropped them off at the John Deere dealership in Colquitt, turned around, went back and got another load, turned around, went back and got another. I don't know how many trips he made hauling folks' tractors from Atlanta, from McDonough home. No charge, never heard one. If y'all boys don't know me, nothing, you don't know me, nothing. That man right there, standing right there looking at us. We called him Big R. That's what everybody called him, Big R. And he was big. Let me tell you, I would never forget that man. I didn't know the history of him when he was doing all that goodwill work for us, hauling those tractors back for free. I didn't know the history of him. I didn't know what he had gone. I knew about the Battle of Midway. Karen and I had gone to the movies and had seen it. We knew what Midway was and knew what happened on the Yorktown. He was actually on the Yorktown that got torpedoed, got bombed. The ship sunk. Subsequently, it went down. All of them jumped in the water, swimming in the water, in that greasy water, and it half of it on fire and oil and everything. Japanese submarines and airplanes everywhere, and sharks all in the water. He's out there in that water, stayed in the water out there floating around for about a day, and got picked up. But it was an amazing story. I've heard him tell the story. I've heard him. I've heard him personally tell the story, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, man, how in the world did you live through that? And he never for one moment said one bad thing about his country, about how his country had thrown him into war, and he wound up he never bemoaned the issue that he was on the Yorktown when it got shot up and sunk, and he was out there in that water and they saved him from being eat up by sharks or being captured by the Japanese or being killed or whatever. He never bemoaned it. He never did anything but give thanks to God for being an American. And that's the kind of life he lived. He had some hard times farming. He came through it. He said he's just like everybody else. He had the good times and he had the bad times, but he was man enough. It's like my daddy used to tell me about. A lot of you people that don't farm may not know the terminology that I'm going to use, but on a tractor, you've got what's called a back band, top link back band. And the tighter you turn that thing, the deeper your plow will go into the ground. It actually determines the depth of how deep your plow goes in the ground. My daddy tell me, he said, son, it'd be hard times. He'd tell me, he said, son, you better tighten up your back band because you better get that plow in the ground. So that's what Mr. Roger Spooner did. He tightened up his back band. He got the plow in the ground. He kept it in the ground until the day he died. And if we had more people like Roger Spooner, if we had more people, more patriots, more people like Roger Spooner, guess what? We wouldn't be worrying about Putin. We wouldn't be worrying about people like that. We could lay down every night in our house, and we could leave the key in our car, and we could leave the doors to our house unlocked if we had more people like that. But those people are leaving here, and it's sad to say. And I can't take the place. And no, man, I ain't no way I could stand in and walk in the shoes Mr. Roger Spooner walked in. But I admire him, and he was a good man. Big R. I remember you.
And within 2 weeks, Floyd, tell folks that might not understand what a Peterbilt 276, isn't that the model of it?
379.
379.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to folks what that is.
It's a big. I call it in the trucking industry. They call them a long nose Pete. It's a Peterbilt, and it's about as big a horse as you can drive down the road. Now, if you got a 379 Pete, long nose Pete, with you about a 425 cat in it, and 14 speed, you can roll. You the man. You pull anything that you hook behind it, and that's what he was driving, long nose Pete, and he could drive it too. I don't know. I don't know how he kept getting his insurance and getting his license renewed every year or every 4 or 5 years, but he did. I'm gonna tell you why, because he didn't have accidents. He didn't wreck that thing. He drove it. He knew what he was doing. But he was an amazing man. He was an amazing man, and got an amazing family. Had a wife that he adored, and they walk in the streets of glory right now. Him and her both hand in hand. They strolling over heaven, and that's what we all need to seek for our final destination. But they were a great couple, and they were an example for everybody.
Patriot.
Everybody could look at that an example that Roger Spooner and Miss Eloise set. And if you could do like that, man, mercy, what a great place we live in.
Yep. Yep. We honor his life tonight and his service to our country. Man, a man.
Yes, sir.
Don't know that I ever knew a finer man. I just don't know that I did.
And
Hey,
it's
guys,
like
go ahead.
Floyd said, those are disappearing. And the sad thing is, they don't even teach our kids in public schools about what we talked about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Midway,
Mm-hmm.
heroes like Mr. Roger Spoon.
See, that Midway was a turning point of World War II. It was
Yes.
it was right after the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor, and he had been on the Yorktown at the Carl C, and they got tore up bad at the Carl C. But they brought that ship back into Pearl Harbor, and in just a matter of days, the Japanese thought it was over with. They thought that the Yorktown would never make it back to Pearl Harbor. It made it back to Pearl Harbor. They worked on it, and then it showed up at Midway, and we turned them around. We turned the Japanese around at Midway. They did. Them young men that were there, they did. They turned them around, sent them back to Japan with the tail between their legs. They wasn't through. They wasn't whipped, but they had toted one more butt whooping. Roger Spooner helped do that.
We also, guys, wanted to let everybody know we lost another viewer that had watched us since day one this past week, Miss Maxie Warren. Her and Mr. Harry Warren watch us every week and have been since we started this show 2 years ago. And Miss Maxie passed away, and we want to remember her life and her keep her family, Mr. Harry and the boys, in your prayers.
Why don't you tell a little bit about Harry there, Queez, about what he does?
I tell you what, them two enjoyed life. You know, they went out there to Mexico Beach and just had a good time, and they done stuff together. And I know Harry's gonna have he got a hole in his heart today that it's just gonna be hard for anything to feel. I know it is, but you know what? Maxie had a lot of problems and a lot of medical issues, but she's healed and cured right now, and that's good. But old Harry, he's gonna have to hang in there. He's the mullet man. He got too many people down there in Florida. The whole Mexico Beach depends on the mullet man to tell them about the fishing, where they need to fish, if the fish is biting. He come the closest to teaching George Williams how to fish anybody I've seen. I gave up. I couldn't teach him how to fish. He knows more than the fish did. But
you talking about George?
George knows more than the fish did. So I couldn't.
You gotta have a willing subject. If you're gonna teach somebody something, you gotta have a willing subject.
But old Harry,
I know Harry had the patience to do everything.
Harry hung in there with
the attitude and the humor and all. But it just where sometimes you had to back off. You know.
Yeah, Harry got him where he could catch a fish, and it just I don't know. It's that's another lady and man too that they don't make like no more. They don't make them like that no more. He got up every day and made his rounds around Mexico Beach, and we before Hurricane Michael come and tore down the cheap houses, we could go down there and stay a little while. But since Hurricane Michael, the cheap houses is gone, so we gone too. And but they'd come by and check on us every day. Come by and stop, see how everything was going, and I can see old Harry now sit down there on that. He sat down on that old wall down there at Port St. Joe on a 5-gallon bucket with that net, waiting on them mullet to come through there. And when he chunked it, he didn't draw it back empty. When he chunked it, he brought some meat back to the bank. And but he's gonna have to. I know he's gonna struggle, but he's gonna have to get back out there and go with it.
He got a lot of people that love him.
A lot of people love him. A lot of people gonna support him.
You want to say something, Marvin? I was going to say something. Go ahead.
They have been married almost 56 years. Almost 56 years. Got married when she was a senior in high school. She was 17 years old. And I told it at the funeral yesterday. He was the only man that ever had to sign his wife's report card.
Whoa!
I think I signed my wife's report card.
You know, her daddy was a show enough train engineer now. He wasn't one of them that played around. Mr. Leland was.
He drove
he run them big trains now.
And Max's mama taught school. She taught me in the first grade. I loved her. I love Miss Gracie McCann.
Miss Gracie.
Yeah, she was great. But I got a Harry Warren. Me and him go way back. There's two things about Harry Warren. The first time and only time I ever went coon hunting in my life was with Harry Warren and his daddy, Curtis Warren. I thought coon hunting was glamorous. You know, you've heard about folks run a ringtail and all that. And I don't know, 17 or 18. I don't know. I might have been on out of high school. I don't know. But anyway, I was going, we're going to go be daddy. Somebody, I don't know who he was, drug off with him coon hunting and me. And man, he waded through them. Where they live out there, other side of Mayhaw out there, between Mayhaw and what's that little Lucille?
See him.
It's low, man. All that land, low land out in there. There's all kind of swamps and mud holes and mayhaw bushes and stuff. We traipsed through that mess and through that mess, and somebody they had some dogs and they turned the dogs out. Then an hour or so later, here go the dogs are hollering. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, listen at him. I hear they got him on the run. And I'm thinking to myself, man, please, if I could find my way, if I could follow the moon to find my way to the hard, then I'd be gone from here. I'd wound my moon hunting up. But they was professionals. They know how to do it. And Harry's daddy, Mr. Curtis, man, and he could whistle. Son, he could whistle. You could hear it from here to Hitler, Alabama. That man whistle. He set the hair on your head. But the other thing is, me and Harry and some other gentlemen lived in Atlanta. We worked and lived in Atlanta, Georgia at the same time. This would have been in the summer of 1965. Harry and Jerry Widener and Larry Hornsby and Bill Dismuke would go from time to time. They had a half of an old house rented up there on Briarcliff Place in Atlanta, and they had them some jobs up there. Called themselves going to school at night, and that's what I call myself going to do: go to school at night, learn electronics. That's what I was going to start out with. So anyway, got up there, moved in there with Harry and Jerry and Larry Hornsby. And Dismuke, he done gone. He done went on somewhere else by then. He done graduated. So anyway, we lived in this old house. It was a big old house on Briarcliff Place. We lived in one side of it, and on the other side of it, there were three women there. And we pretty much had it figured out that they were working girls. They was out all night, I'm talking about, and then they come back in the next morning, And so somebody said, "Oh, I bet y'all had a good time." I said, "No, we didn't have no money."
Well, wait a minute, I want to back up just a little bit.
But
wait a minute, Floyd.
They got married. You talking about he got married and married back? Yeah, they got married. He come home. They come home and got married and left me. I said, "Well, I'm coming home too." And Jerry Widener tells the story about one time he was up there, didn't have no car. He played football for Miller County. Miller County Pirates played football and had a Miller County jersey, red jersey on. He said, I'm going to, and he was in love too. He said, I'm going back home. He said, I'm going home. And they wouldn't none of us. We didn't have no money to get home on. We didn't have no money to have no gas. Didn't have nothing. If we could get us a 6-pack of PBR, we were lucky. But he said, I'm going home. I said, okay, he said, I'm gonna hitchhike. So now we in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. He said, I'm gonna hitchhike. So anyway, he got out there, walked out there. Peachtree Street wasn't too far across there from us. So he got out there. And we didn't see him no more. He came back in. He left on like a Friday evening. We seen him. He came back in on Sunday night, get ready to go back to work the next day. And he put that football jersey on. He said, we asked, how'd you get home? He said, I had an easy way home. He said, man, you ain't gonna believe it. He said, it took me a little while to get back up him, but going home, said I had it. He said, I was standing out there on Peach Street Friday afternoon, said I had my football jersey on, and he said I had my thumb stuck out, and he said about a half-drunk man pulled up in a brand new red Cadillac. He said, where you going, son? He said, well, I'm going to Colquitt, Georgia. He said, where's that at? He said, it's down in South Georgia. He said, well, get in. I said, you can drive. I'm going to sit over here and drink. He said, he got out and wheeled that brand new red Cadillac and drove to Colquitt, Georgia. Drove the best in the man was drunk. He just left him in his car. He said the next morning he woke up, the bear was gone. He said, but it took me a little while to get back up here. But you can't do that, man. And you can't do that now. But yeah,
I want to go back.
Walk on Peachtree Street.
I want to go back to the working girls.
Yeah.
We saw very little of them. No, they didn't have time for us. They had money on their minds, son. Let me tell you, they had money.
Well, they didn't credit.
They no, it wasn't no creek. We didn't go down that trail. We left.
Hey,
Hey,
did,
we
did,
left. Hey, that's that line. That's that line, Marvin.
That line, that's
Oh, that
right.
line. No, ain't getting in that trap.
Yes, sir.
We had a good time up there. Anyway, learned a lot up there. Had a lot of experiences up there. Uh, Going to the car race up there and all kind of stuff. But we had a time. And periodically people would from down in Colquitt or Dawsonville, they'd come visit with us. They'd come up there and stay, a day or two with us, 2 or 3 days with us. And one fellow from Dawsonville, he was kind of notorious. I ain't gonna tell you what his name is because that bunch is they'll hurt you. Anyway, he was kind of notorious. He had money. He had money. He was older than us. He would have been in there. He was older than Dismuke. He was older than Bill Dismuke. And he'd come in there like on Friday afternoon. We get in from work. And he'd be in there on Friday afternoon, sitting in there on the floor in the living room. He'd have him a fifth of Crown Royal, and he'd be playing Bob Dylan records. Now, I don't know if any of y'all know about what Bob Dylan sounds like, what in '65, but he'd be playing them Bob Dylan records. And he'd come in there one weekend on a brand new blue Thunderbird, a brand new '65 blue Thunderbird. He left. We didn't see him no more till late Sunday afternoon. He came rolling in there late Sunday afternoon, and he had blowed the hood off of the brand new Thunderbird. He did not have a hood on it. He blowed it off out there somewhere running 150 miles an hour, whatever. He was there and he come on back up. But anyway, we'll just keep that confidential about what his family was.
I got a question. I guess Queasy will be the best to answer it. How'd the celebration go yesterday over in Colquitt?
How'd what go?
The celebration.
Well, I don't know. According to what would you think we celebrated?
Well, Marvin's 60th birthday would be a big celebration, I think, for the folks in
Exactly
Colquitt,
right.
Georgia.
Yeah.
He's 60th.
Yeah.
If he makes it to 60, we're gonna have a celebration. That's for sure. Yeah,
How long you been married, Marvin? Whoa now, whoa. That's
Oh,
not the right
that's
answer,
too late.
Marvin. No, don't get you
we had him a party out here at the house.
Yeah.
2020.
He can't figure out
Invited all the dignitaries.
how many years, Marvin? Come on.
2022 minus
Yes.
1994. Let me figure it. Hold on.
It's 2022 when it is now.
2022, 94. 28 will be 28 years this year.
But see, you about 2 minutes too quick. You ask me, I can say 42, and that's it. I know. You keep up with that stuff. You better know that answer.
well, yeah. I just figured he's 60 because he got to be over 10 years older than his wife, and he announced what her last birthday was a few weeks ago, that she was a certain age.
That's why we the only one that gave him a birthday party. He didn't get there in the home.
Oh
no. We gave him a birthday party out here, and he invited all the city officials, and they showed up, and all of them wished him a happy birthday. I think
it was a good day. That was all that mattered. Another day.
Another day, man. I've got another blessed day, another birthday. The good Lord brought
Buddy
you in.
Johnson and the fishing reverend. I think they called him up and sung happy birthday with him,
Buddy Johnson did. Buddy Johnson was waxing his cowboy hat.
Well, Buddy told me he was going to loan you his hat.
Yeah.
My head. You need to borrow that hat. You need to borrow that hat if you can. It'll fit you. That hat will fit you.
No.
Johnson, Buddy J. Johnson Jr. Third need to get him some tissue and roll up and put in the band.
Yeah, wasn't it?
That's all I'm gonna say about that. Have we got the fishing river on tonight?
No, I hadn't heard from him, but I will. Let me throw this. I got this picture just a while ago from Ricky Bracewell, and he said he wanted to know if the fishing reverend could catch fish like that in February.
I think I could answer that question after seeing the pictures of the fishing reverend. I don't think so.
That's Ricky Bracewell caught today, and so I guess today. got a big mess there, but I ain't heard nothing from the fishing reverend, so I reckon Ricky,
Oh, shell cracker.
man, I'm telling you, some little bass in there, and
Bass. What do you see the bass? Oh yeah, I see them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
right
recognize
there,
bass.
that's
I
a
got it.
nice mess of fish for February. I'll tell you that.
It is. There might be some good ones right there. I wish I had me a mess of them fried and cooked. Ooh, that'd be a
Mm-hmm.
treat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, speaking of cooking there, Gucci, I see you multi watching. I don't know if you got some more suckers ready or whatever. I kind of hit your son in law up other day, so maybe it won't be too long.
Yeah, that's here you go. Here you go. Call Gucci. Call me. Call me when you get ready. Let us know. We'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll be
Call
there.
me, please.
Hey,
Oh,
all right, guys, I got to show you all this. Last week, Floyd was not on the show. We talked about Michael Jordan's half smoked cigar with the bid starting at $500. Y'all remember that?
We do.
Talked about that. I got one to top it this week. Don't know what it is. It is a Pikachu trading card made in 1998. A card like a baseball card, Japanese. It sold this week at auction for $900,000.
You know, that's who
oh,
we need to get a hold of folks like that that's got plenty of money to invest. We need to find them folks like that, especially
we got.
with this new deal. I kind of came up with. You know, we were talking about the other day, a couple of weeks ago, about they doing away with red man chewing tobacco, eliminating it because it's insulting to the Indian. Well, I ain't heard no Indians talk about being insulted by the red man chewing tobacco. They not insulted when they get all them royalty checks from them casinos and all that. So I just wonder where that insulting level stops with them. But anyway, we need to get somebody to. Have you got my picture I sent in there, Marvin, about my new product that I'm gonna come out with? That we need some investors in this. So any of y'all out there that's got some money that burning a hole in your pocket and want to invest in this right here. This is what we're gonna do right here. I'm gonna start marketing this stuff. So if y'all think I got a chance at, at selling some of it, let me know. Huh?
Lord, have mercy on my soul.
That is part of Floyd B. Lloyd Enterprises.
Floyd B. Lloyd Enterprises. That's right. Yeah.
All right.
Subsidiaries.
Are y'all ready for my question this week?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a good one. I got a good one for y'all this week. It's gonna take some that I want to answer to this one now. I don't want no passing off and we had to get. I want to answer to this question because it's important. So I want to know why on an airplane, why come under the seats they put flotation devices and they don't put parachutes? Answer me that. Why did they put a life jacket under the seat of an airplane, a jet, under the passenger seat? Why did they put a flotation device and not a parachute?
That's a good question, Queen.
What's the
That's
answer?
That's
What's the
deep.
answer to that now?
That's deep.
Huh?
I don't think I've ever. I don't. Are you talking to us?
Yeah, who you think I'm talking to?
Oh no,
Ain't nobody else talking but us.
No, Floyd was shaking his head like he was talking to Nadine or something.
No,
Oh.
she just telling me something.
Oh, okay.
She was telling me we got a peach pie ready in there just a little bit.
ooh.
So y'all come on over. y'all stay at the house. Y'all go ahead.
Mm,
So let me ask you this: if you're gonna do that, then why come if you fishing, why come you can't wear a parachute instead of a life jacket?
Well, you got a point there, but I don't think that parachute would be no good with you when you're fishing.
Well,
Unless
they
you
do.
want to jump
Well,
out the
what good is a life jacket doing when you flying?
Well, the only thing is you land over water, land in a river or a lake or something. Otherwise, I'd rather have a parachute. But I'd probably get killed with the parachute trying to jump out of the airplane going down. I think the best thing you do when you get on the airplane is like I always do. I just get on there, pull my cap down over my eyes, and I ask the good Lord, I said, Lord, be with me. Help me, Lord. Be with
I
us.
like what Kendall.
Forgive
I
me a
like
sinner.
I like what Kendall Andrews said. He said the parachute nor the life jacket's gonna help you. Just bend over and kiss it goodbye.
That's right. That's the Lord to forgive me, man. Ask the good Lord to forgive me.
Uh,
Oh,
hmm, hmm.
Lord help. Um, man,
What?
we got everywhere. We got people all over the place tonight here watching. Man, we got them from all over Southwest Georgia, Northwest Florida, Southeast Alabama. Got them up in Virginia. Got them in Houston, Texas tonight.
Who we
Let's see.
got in Houston?
Orville and Diane Thomas in Houston, Texas.
They in Houston. What they doing out there? I looked a while ago. Looked like they was at the rodeo or something out there.
They're having the rodeo. She's
Having the
got a
rodeo out there. They ain't
doctor's
going to.
appointment
Yeah,
Monday.
I got you. They ain't going to the rodeo.
I don't think. Orville quit his. He used to ride bulls. He quit his bull riding.
That's good. I remember when he used to do that.
He got thrown off of it one time at at Gillies out in Texas. He rode that mechanical bull and got threw off and messed his back up.
Did he ever play in a donkey basketball game in Colquitt there?
I think he did. I don't
I
remember it.
think he did too. I think so. Yeah, that was a big deal. We used to have a lot of donkey basketball games in Colquitt, and that was entertaining to say the least.
Do they do it in the gym?
They done it in the gym. They put
Yeah.
rubber shoes on them donkeys, and they do it in the
Nike.
gym. And it would be some
Got them
there'd be
Nike.
some executives and all from around Colquitt there. That was
Yeah.
some personalities that would be riding the donkeys in there, and it was good. It was fun. It was a good. Folks just don't have them no more. They don't have donkey basketball games no more. I don't know if it's inhumane or what, but they don't. We don't. Nobody have them no more.
We was gonna do a donkey basketball game one time. We got hooked up with the Armstrong boys, and we forgot about the donkey basketball. Man, we were taking too much money wrassling.
That's wrestling money coming in. Then that's just
Woo,
like
we was wrestling.
low hanging fruit. There, man, just pick it off the tree.
I tell you what, wherever they went, they brought a crowd with them. It didn't make no difference where they were. They had a crowd with them.
No deal.
Always.
It was good. That was some of the best time we used to have on the whole fire department. Man, they made us. They paid for many pieces of fire equipment in Colquitt,
sure
Georgia.
did.
I promise you. They sure done that.
And I'll tell you another thing y'all done with making money was with the Dunkin' booth. You
The
remember
Dunkin'
the
booth.
Dunkin' booth?
Yeah, we did that too. We did that too.
They don't do. I don't see that no more. though. They don't. Nobody get in the Dunkin' booth no more.
Well,
No.
I will take. We had a carnival 2 years ago, and we rented one down in Bainbridge, and I got in it, and I fell and got my foot caught on the board, and had somebody not pulled me up, I'd have drowned in it.
Only you.
Damn.
Only
wait.
you.
Whoa. Would you rewind that there, Marvin? And I know another year you go around the world another year, but tell me that story again. You got your foot.
Yeah, somehow I slipped and fell getting in it, and my foot got hung on the board that falls, and I got trapped. And if somebody hadn't to help me up, I'd have probably drowned in that barrel of water.
Did you spill your coffee?
No, I didn't have no coffee with me, and I didn't have my cowboy hat on. Now, that time I got body slammed in the wrestling ring, that time, you remember, Floyd, my cowboy hat never came off.
Never came off. That's right. The old boy picked him up. Somewhat picked him up and kind of more or less dropped him rather than slamming him.
That was a body drop, then, Floyd. That'd be the technical term.
He just kind of picked him off over a
I
little bit.
thought I remembered him picking me up over his head.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Waist high. He got you up about waist high. He just kind of pitched you out there. That's why
I didn't ever get in the wrestling ring.
That's why your cowboy hat stayed on.
I didn't ever get in the wrestling ring, but I got in the mud wrestling ring with these two gals in bikinis one time. Now, they picked me up and body slammed me right there in front of everybody. Before I knew what had happened, I looked up there, this woman sitting on top of me in one of them little bitty strange bikinis. Some smart aleck in the stand had offered $100 if I'd get in the ring, and then I wouldn't do it for $100. And another smart aleck said, "I'll match it. That's $200." I had to go for $200.
There it went. We
We
get
raising
a
money.
fire suit for that.
I could put one leg in that ring, and before I could get the other one, they done picked me up and body slammed and was sitting on top of me. I was that deep in mud and looked up at it was all over. Just that quick.
Was Miss Queasel at that social function?
Oh yeah, we was raising money. She was good with it.
Okay.
We were trying to pay off. See, we done put our house on the note to buy fire equipment, so we were trying to get money any way we could so we could pay off the note.
So you can stay in your house.
Yeah.
A lot
Because
of
if we
folks don't
didn't,
believe that, but that's a true story.
Yeah.
they don't believe that.
That's how it got done.
It had been for them, the banks loaning money to the individual firefighters, we wouldn't have the fire department we have today. And
Right.
believe it or not, in this little old bitty community, we are finishing station number 6. Station.
Right.
Wow.
And
That's
the land.
unreal.
Tell them about that land. The land was donated, wasn't it? Wasn't it,
Yes,
Marty? Land donated and cleaned off for you.
Joe
Go ahead,
Davis.
say, who was it? Who done it?
Roger Wayne and Joe Davis.
That's right. Donated land. That's how it works. That's how communities get things done. People
right.
stepping up and donating. People doing things that above and beyond and not expecting one thing back in return for it.
You're right.
That's how it gets
You
done.
were right.
So some of you folks are listening in some of these big towns or somewhere. Hey, that's the model. We got the model right here in Miller County, Georgia. How you get things done. It's people. It's people. Community-minded people.
It's that time again. I know it don't seem like it, but it's that time we're going to be run out of time if we don't do it. Floyd's short-listed books and definitions brought to us in exclusivity as well as perpetuity. Berry Hill Auctioneers. T.C. Berry Hill, our good friend at Berry Hill Auctioneers. Tonight's Floyd's short-list books and definitions. Take it away, Floyd.
All right. Been kind of busy this week. My creative juices hadn't been flowing like they ought to be, but I got a few here I think that'll work. Nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth. Anybody that wants to argue with me here, you call me. I'll talk to you. I get on the line. I'll talk to you about the truth. Days in his entire life that Bernie Sanders has been happy. Have y'all ever seen Bernie Sanders happy? Have you ever seen him laugh? Have you ever seen him smile? Never. Never have I seen him laugh, seen him smile. He couldn't tell a joke if his life depended on it. He couldn't find humor in nothing. He's the only man I know of that was so lazy. He was so lazy that he got thrown out of a hippie commune. That's how lazy he was. And they keep voting him back in every 6 years in Vermont. Whatever I do in my life, I am never going to Vermont. Because if you got any idiots in one state, I can imagine what it's like. All right, here we go right here. Here's chewing tobacco outlets on Martha's Vineyard. I want y'all to vision this, if you will. Vision this. This is what I try to do. I try to get your mind so you can make your mind be flexible and envision this. Times that Al Sharpton has bungee jumped. Did y'all see that?
I think you.
Here one. This is one on a serious note. Things that Vladimir Putin fear from Joe Biden. That's a short one right there, brother.
You're right.
Here's another short one. Other than Christianity, things or people that are taboo to a Democrat. Other than Christianity.
You're right.
You got it.
Listen to this one. Listen to this one, Queasel. RV travel trailer owners that are ever satisfied with the size of their trailer or the size of their truck.
Oh, no, now. I'm perfectly happy. I am perfect. I'm perfect.
Okay,
Me and Chief Holt, we got it exactly like we got rolling condominium on wheels. Got the right wheel to pull it, the right wheel to set it up. Now, Floyd.
Okay, I just want to. I just okay.
Well,
That's a short list. We can't use that. We got 2 on that
Well, I
list
have to
right
take
there.
that off. You got 2
Oh,
on
they
there.
gonna
That's
get
right.
nothing no bigger. Yeah, that's it, huh?
No,
The end
that's
of the
it.
line. Okay,
That's
all right.
it.
All right, here we go. Here's one. Pentecostal preachers that wear silk underwear. Okay, I wish our fishing reverend was on tonight. I hope he's listening. Somebody needs to call him and tell him that he needs to listen to this one. And you know, it's just it's a short list, very short list, very short list. Free will Baptists and Baptist preachers that purchase lotto tickets in their hometown. Oh, me. Oh, oh. Somebody called him. Tell him, say, man, you better. Hey, somebody gonna see him at church tomorrow. There's some of them women, some of them sisters that go to his church.
Yeah, they'll be taking up for him.
call a Tweezel. Say, you better take up for your preacher. You better.
Yeah.
Said Floyd's coming after him.
They take up for him.
Things that a Democrat has said, times that a Democrat has said white without adding supremacist at the end. Come on. Okay, don't hear nothing from none of y'all out there, none of y'all Democrats. It's always at the end, white supremacist at the end. Last but not least, including his bladder and his bowels, things that Joe Biden has any control over. That's it for Floyd Short List. Hope I didn't offend y'all too much tonight, especially them Baptist and Free Will Baptist preachers.
Oh, Charlie, take it away. We can't hear you. You there?
What's this?
I don't know what's going on with him.
There you go. They got it.
Hey, you there, Charlie? Can't hear.
That's just sad. We love him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Technical difficulties.
Always IT problem.
Yeah. Hey.
Somewhere down the line.
Gotta blame it on somebody.
Yeah. Yep. Guys, I want to throw this up here, and I want to before we close out here, I'll turn it over to Floyd, and then I'll close out last. We need to do this right here.
I agree.
We need to pray for the Ukraine nation. We need to pray for. I think I read today or heard today where at least 120,000 have already left. Up to 4 million may have to. Think about it. Think about it, if you will. Let me put it in perspective for you. This time last week, as we were doing our show, everything was normal in Ukraine. Life was normal as well as it could be, but life was normal. There was no bombs had been exploded. There was no threat at that time. There was no invasion, and children were playing. And then think about how life has changed in 3 days, 4 days for all these people. And I'll tell you, I know we can't do a lot. Some of you may give money or whatever, but we can pray for them. We can lift them up in prayer, and we can pray that God would have his hand of grace and mercy upon them. All right, Floyd, or Queasel. Floyd, one
Yes,
of y'all
sir.
take, and I'll close us out.
Well, I just hey, appreciate everybody letting us in again tonight. Spend an hour with you and just enjoy talking back and forth and sharing some of our views. Probably everybody don't agree with just about everything that we agree with, but we all like the same stuff. The world would be boring anyway. So we just share some of our thoughts with you, some of our ponderings and some of our opinions, and just none of it's rehearsed. Just whatever topic comes up, that's what we start talking about. But we appreciate y'all. We couldn't do it without y'all tuning in. It's an honor for us to be accepted, and you let us into your home. I tell you, we have to be careful nowadays who we let in our homes. There's all kind of stuff out there, and most of it we don't need to fool with. I agree with what Marvin was saying. You know, the deficient reverend, he says it all the time, and we need to pay attention to it. A lot of times we forget just how blessed we are. We don't realize how blessed we are. That same thing could happen to the United States. In 4 days from now, our world could be turned over. I hope it ain't a war, but it could still be turned over. Your personal life can be turned over. Don't ever think that it can't. But the one thing you better make sure of is when it is turned over, that you got the right equipment to do what you need to do. You gotta have that man to go through that with you. You gotta have that person who's gonna pick you up. And let me tell you something, ain't but one person can do it, and that's Jesus Christ. And if you don't know who he is, you need to take time. You need to learn who he is, especially now. It ain't that hard to do. He's standing at the door knocking. All you got to do is let him in. But again, we appreciate y'all. Let's do pray for Ukraine. Let's pray for the United States. Let's pray for President Biden. Let's pray for all our leaders. I mean, they're there. We might not like them, but that's who we got. So let's pray that God can change their attitude and change the way they see things and the way they think. And listen, when all else fails, just know one thing: God never fails. He never has, and He never will. So we just need to remember that. But I think it is important that God hears His people praying, that they're talking to Him. So that's what I'm going to challenge you to do. And I'm going to leave you with this little quote. It's unknown. I don't know where it come from, but it's a true test of character. Listen to what I'm fixing to tell you now. Measure a man or woman by how they treat their subordinates, not how they treat their equals. Take it away, Floyd.
Yes, sir. Glad to be with y'all tonight. Tonight, glad I could get back on with y'all. I missed y'all last week. I was doing a little work down there and had to be away, but I missed y'all. Glad to be with y'all tonight. Thank y'all for letting us into your home. I hope we cheered you up a little bit. We try not to get too heavy sometimes, but we do. I think about a lot of them old times and what a good time we had. What a good life I've had, and how the Lord's blessed me with what He's blessed me with. He's blessed me with a wonderful wife that's been with me for almost 50 years. March 31st will be our 50th wedding anniversary, and I just thank the good Lord for that. I thank you for keeping her and me in your prayers. She's progressing nicely. She still has some days she don't feel good, and but we all do. But I just thank you, and please continue to pray for us. Pray for Karen, and pray for me. We need it, and please pray for this country, and pray for the leaders that are leading this country, that they will come to their senses and realize that what they're doing is not working. That they need to turn to God. That's all I got tonight. Go ahead, Corey.
Guys, thank y'all again. We appreciate you inviting us into your home tonight. Hey, listen, we need a lot of prayer. The country needs a lot of prayer. Ukraine needs a lot of prayer. Pray for the family of Roger Spooner and the family of Maxie Warren. We appreciate her always watching our show, and the service that Mr. Roger gave to our country, and the man and character that he was. We'll be back next week, same time and same place. I want to encourage you tomorrow's Sunday. You know what it is. It's God's day. I encourage you to go to church if you're where you can. If you cannot, there's plenty of places online and on the television that you can watch preaching and hear praise and worship music. And I just ask you to give the Lord His due tomorrow. The scripture for tonight is, this is how God showed His love among us. He sent His one and only Son into the world that we might live through Him. And I leave you tonight with some more words of wisdom from Dr. Seuss. It's about being careful. So I said to myself, now I'll just have to start to be twice as careful and be twice as smart. I'll watch out for trouble in front and back sections by aiming my eyeball in different directions. Be careful. No matter what you're doing in life, always be careful and think twice before you do something. Hey, guys, we love you. It's an honor and a privilege for us to be able to be with you on Saturday nights. It humbles us that you would even consider watching us and being with us, and we appreciate you from the bottom of our heart. We hope to be back and see you next Saturday, same place and same time, right here on Facebook and YouTube. Y'all have a great, blessed week, and always, 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 no matter what you do in life, always be particular. Good
See
night.
y'all.